Welcome back and a very good afternoon. You're watching Breaking Ground with me, Siddharth Talia. We continue our coverage of what's been happening in the Trinamool Congress, because following a crushing defeat in the assembly elections where the TMC ended up winning just 80 seats, the exodus crisis in the party has now deepened. Earlier today, former TMC Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament Mr. Sukhendu Shekhar tendered his resignation from his post and also his primary membership of the party as well. Now, the details of his letter cite explosive claims, and now a picture has emerged showing rebel TMC members of Parliament at Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar's residence in Delhi holding a meeting as well. And some of those members of Parliament have also been interacting with the BJP's Bhupendra Yadav. Now, we have some more news coming in, which is that TMC members of Parliament are also at the residence, like I said earlier, of Bhupendra Yadav, the Union Minister for Environment belonging to the BJP, except for Sukhendu Adhikari. They're likely to form now a separate bloc within the Trinamool Congress is what is being speculated. Let me go across to my colleague Sabyasachi, who's reporting from outside Mr. Bhupendra Yadav's residence, and we also have Ridhita joining us for more on what's been happening in the Trinamool Congress camp. Sabyasachi, coming to you. Now, as far as the two-thirds calculations are concerned, when it comes to Lok Sabha members of Parliament, the Trinamool Congress won 29 seats in the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. The two-thirds mark there is about 20. If a separate faction has to now split from the parent party and recognize itself as the true TMC, like a lot of the MLAs have already done. As far as the Rajya Sabha is concerned, the Trinamool Congress has 13 members of Parliament currently, and a good number of them would now have to split in order to constitute a new faction as far as the TMC goes in the upper house. Tell us about the deliberations currently taking place at Bhupendra Yadav's residence and the members of Parliament who are there from the TMC who are present.
Well, Siddharth, the meeting had been going on for a long time. Sukhendu Adhikari, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, who came to the residence of Bhupendra Yadav directly from the airport. Now, the MPs from the Trinamool Congress were already present. The meeting went on for quite some time. In fact, there has been several rounds of meeting going in the national capital. Now, Kakoli Ghosh Dostidar, as per the sources, Kakoli Ghosh Dostidar, Sukhendu Shekhar Ashit and other leaders of the Trinamool Congress were present at the residence of Bhupendra Yadav. Now, what we are learning, because few minutes back from the main gate here, Sukhendu Adhikari has left from the residence of Bhupendra Yadav, and the information that we are getting is that from the back gate, the MPs also most likely have left from the residence of Bhupendra Yadav. But most importantly, here the Trinamool Congress, the MPs who does not want to associate themselves with Abhishek Banerjee, and this faction has been led by Ritubroto Banerjee. Now, Ritubroto Banerjee wanted that Kakoli Ghosh Dostidar should be the leader of the party as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned, because the sources earlier told us that today the Trinamool Congress Lok Sabha MPs would go and meet the Speaker, because they have been in continuous touch with the Speaker, but they say that they are not in a rush. They want to acquire signatures of two-thirds of the majority. Yes. Now, and the sources confirm that yesterday also, when the meeting happened at the residence of Kakoli Ghosh Dostidar, around 21 MPs were present at the meeting. Both some of them were there physically and some of them joined virtually. Now, from the Mamata Banerjee camp also, continuous efforts are being made to reach out to these MPs, but some of the MPs have switched off their phone. Some of the MPs are travelling elsewhere. Very interestingly, Siddharth, one MP made tickets from Bombay to Kolkata, but made a layoff here in the national capital. So a lot of things happening at the Trinamool Congress camp, with Mamata Banerjee currently present in the national capital at the India Bloc meeting. But what we can confirm from the sources is that these MPs would not join the Bharatiya Janata Party, but they would form a bloc within the Trinamool Congress, and they would clearly say that, okay, we accept Mamata Banerjee as the leader of the party, or as our chief advisor, but we would not accept Abhishek Banerjee in any of the party leadership roles. Siddharth.
All right, Sabyasachi as well, who gets us more updates. Ridhita, now you had a situation where there were several MLAs, including Ritubroto, who decided to, of course, split from the parent TMC, and they are now the true TMC as far as the Assembly Speaker is concerned, because he's already accorded the recognition of LOP to Mr. Ritabrata Banerjee. If certain members of Parliament now who've decided to part ways with Mamata Banerjee are also having discussions with Bhupendra Yadav, and you do see a situation in the future where a new TMC emerges among those who've rebelled against Mamata, that faction would end up taking power with the BJP's blessings. So what role is there of any opposition that emerges as far as the TMC is concerned?
Well, absolutely. If I start off with the number game first, as you were mentioning about the Ritobrata gang that has already taken its shape in the legislative party here, we see that the number has already soared up to 61, and as far as the concern is related to the parliamentary wing, we see that already sources claim, and as my colleague was confirming, that there were 21 MPs were present in the meeting. So understand 28 MPs, out of which 19 will already prove the power to the parliamentary wing, to the second bloc of the Trinamool Congress that is going to take its shape. But however, as that is concerned, we see that the Mamata Banerjee camp and Mamata Banerjee along with the nephew is making back-to-back allegations that this is the same Shinde model that was followed in Maharashtra and it is happening in West Bengal. And this conflict, this entire matter of conflict had begun since the time Sukhendu was found in a conversation with Ritobrata Bandyopadhyay in Delhi outside his parking. So the conflict had begun since there, but however, not giving air to the controversies, the party still trusted on him. However, when Trinamool Congress's meeting was led out, Ritobrata and other MLAs' absence was found. That is when the question has arisen, and that was given to the question of MLAs that has suffered. And then we see that Ritobrata, Shondipan Chaha and Azharul Haq, all of these people started making up a second gang, a second bloc inside the party, and this comes in evidence because how the BJP has made a statement in Bengal that no Trinamoolikaran of BJP will be happening. That is, no person from Trinamool will be allowed to enter BJP. And now when given in concerns about the parliamentary wing, we see the conflict had begun with Kakuli Ghosh Dosidar being removed as the chief whip position and Kalyan Banerjee being appointed along with Abhishek
so that
Banerjee.
really shows the kind of differences in the factions that exist within the Trinamool Congress. Hridita as well as Sabyasachi, stay with us because we remain focused on these developments within the TMC, because when asked why Sukhendu Shekhar Roy had resigned, why he tendered his resignation not just as a member of the Rajya Sabha but also from the primary membership of the TMC, he blamed the Trinamool Congress top leadership and what he described as the anarchic rule of the TMC.
करोड़ करोड़ रुपया लूट हुआ इसलिए मैंने मांग कर रहा हूं अभी तो मैं आम जनता हूं मैं मांग कर सकता हूं नई सरकार के पास कि जो पिछले 5 सालों में, मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं बोलता हूँ, सिर्फ पिछले 5 साल में बंगाल के हर एक अस्पताल में जो सामान खरीदा गया, जैसे कि इंजेक्शन, सलाइन, दवाइयाँ, किससे खरीदा गया, कौन कंपनी से खरीदा गया, इसका टेंडर हुआ था कि नहीं हुआ था, कितने पैसे में खरीदा गया और इसका क्वालिटी जांच हुआ था कि नहीं हुआ था, इस बारे में फोरेंसिक ऑडिट होना चाहिए।
पार्लियामेंट का अपर हाउस का फंक्शनिंग था, सुखेंदुदा जो बोले हैं वो एकदम सही है। पार्लियामेंट क्विज करने का जगह नहीं है, क्विज मास्टरी करने का अलग सा जगह है, स्टूडियो है। कि अभिषेक बंद्योपाध्याय का जो संगठन लोग बोलते हैं, उस संगठन में बंगाली में आप जानते हैं संघ का मतलब क्या है, गठन का मतलब क्या है, उसमें संघ है मगर गठन नहीं है। सुखेंदुदा जो बोल रहे हैं मैं भी वो चीज भुगत के आया हूँ। पिछले 1 साल में पार्लियामेंट के अंदर जितना बहस हुआ था, मैं उससे बाकी लोगों से ज्यादा बहस में भाग लिया। क्या परफॉर्मेंस है ये तो पब्लिक है, मगर फिर भी मैं भी लास्ट रो में बैठता था। मगर हालात ऐसा चल रहा है कि क्विज मास्टर को शायद 2029 में मौका ही नहीं मिलेगा पार्लियामेंट में जाकर ये क्लाउनगिरी करने का।
Now some more breaking news coming in from within the Trinamool Congress. Sources are telling your channel that Sukhendu Shekhar Roy's resignation was very much along expected lines. So that's what insiders within the TMC now appear to be claiming, that it was only a matter of time before this man, who's a Rajya Sabha member of parliament, would tender his resignation. We await some more details on how the TMC is now going to react to not just his resignation as an MP, but also from the primary membership of the party. Let me go across once again to Sabyasachi, who's been keeping a very close eye on all these developments. Now, Sabyasachi, TMC is saying that his resignation was along expected lines, but did they anticipate the timing of the resignation as well, given the fact that it's coming simultaneously when there's a meeting of India Bloc representatives also being held in the national capital?
Well, Siddharth, the Trinamool Congress Mamata Banerjee faction was aware that some of the MPs of Trinamool Congress are onto something, and they were aware of the reports that some of the MPs on Monday itself could approach the Lok Sabha Speaker and submit a letter that they would accept Kakuli Ghosh Dostidar as the leader of the party and not Abhishek Banerjee. Now, Siddharth, that was the reason why we had seen that Abhishek Banerjee was sent immediately to the national capital on Saturday night itself. Mamata Banerjee landed on Sunday, and what the Trinamool Congress sources confirm that Mamata Banerjee, Abhishek Banerjee, and along with the loyalists of Mamata Banerjee, they have been continuously trying to reach out to the Member of Parliaments. They claim that they have support of around 10 to 15 MPs with them. And what Kakuli Ghosh Dostidar, what we have learned from the camp of Kakuli Ghosh Dostidar is that they don't want to rush into things. They say that we have the majority with us, but we want to be sure about the signatures. We have to be doubly sure about the signatures that we have 2/3 majority. Now, Sukhendu Shekhar Roy resignation was on the lines because he has not been much active as far as the party lines is concerned. He has been continuously speaking against the party lines from the day the Arjikor rape incident happened in the state of West Bengal. Now, in his resignation, he have put across several allegations against the Trinamool Congress. But Siddharth, what will be interesting to see is that, Mamata Banerjee, who will be closely monitoring the situation, now she will be aware about the MPs who were part of this meeting, who were present in the meeting with Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav as well as Chief Minister Sukhendu Adhikari. So the Trinamool Congress can take disciplinary action against these Member of Parliament. So that will be definitely on the cards as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned.
Absolutely. Sabyasachi, stay with us. Let me go across to Dev as well. Dev, it still appears that as far as the 2/3 mark is concerned, as far as Rajya Sabha MPs of the Trinamool Congress go, there are 13, and the Trinamool Congress essentially will require 9 people to be quitting the party or defecting in order to form a separate entity. Likewise, with the Lok Sabha members of Parliament, there are 29 that the TMC has currently, of which more than 20 would have to split in order to form a new TMC, so to speak, very much like what's happened with the MLAs. We don't really see those many members of Parliament currently interacting either with Sukhendu Adhikari or, for that matter, Bhupendra Yadav. Is disciplinary action now likely? What kind of action could the TMC take? Issue show cause notices? Tell us about the way forward from here. Dev, if you can hear me.
Well, yes, absolutely. With Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee still holding discussions, they've definitely gone into a huddle. Also, this comes at a very crucial time when the India Bloc meeting is being held. So this is an additional blow. As you know, that the crisis in the party were already brewing, and something like this to come at this time is definitely beyond demotivating. As far as the future course of action is considered, the party chief whip could take an action even amounting to suspension or removing their membership. But these MPs the more so the rebel MPs who are present inside Bhupendra Yadav's residence out here on Motilal Nehru Marg, they are also going to be considering forming another block of the TMC. We don't know whether they're going to announce that today itself or not, but we can definitely expect some sort of new announcement and there can be action on them as well.
All right. So it would be safe to say that at this juncture, at the very least, Mamata Banerjee's faction of the Trinamool Congress might in fact face an existential threat. We have some more breaking news coming in, which is that the Trinamool Congress leader Hakim, who is very much aligned with Mamata Banerjee's faction, has arrived at the West Bengal Legislative Assembly. He is also meeting leaders from the Ritabrata Banerjee camp amid the ongoing political developments. So what kind of interactions might we now see between the two rival factions of the Trinamool Congress, especially if Firat Hakim, somebody known to be quite close to Mamata Banerjee, is now also interacting with members of the Rita Brata Banerjee camp. Let me go across to Ridita, who will take us through more details about this. This is very interesting indeed, Ridita, because the two factions have not been seeing eye to eye. Clearly, of course, Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee miffed at what they describe as a betrayal on the part of Rita Brata, and they've also been suspended, at least as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned. Now you have Firat Hakim, known to be quite close to Mamata Banerjee, interacting with the rebel camp. What's happening?
Well, absolutely, you see that the jolt has again begun in the West Bengal Assembly, where Firat Hakim, who had just recently resigned from his position of being the mayor last week itself, is now inside the Legislative Assembly today here, and he's meeting Rita Brata Bandopadhyay and Sandipan Saha and the other members of the very camp. You get to understand that here Rita Brata was there since the morning, and as the schedule says that he is already waiting for the Speaker's official announcement and notification from come ahead from the Speaker Rothendra Bose as to what is it going to look like, because Trinamool Congress over their official notification has already mentioned the name of Firat Hakim to play the position of the chief whip. So there is a still clearance alert that needs to be coming from the speaker in itself. However, Firat Hakim, when his name has been officially mentioned in the notification of Trinamool Congress, is now seen inside the Legislative Assembly, where he is exchanging his communication with Rita Brata, Sandipan Saha and other members of the gang. So this is a little fishy that is taking place inside inside the Legislative Assembly, because at the time when he has resigned from the post of the mayor, and he has also skipped the next meeting at the Mamata residence that was held just 2 days later after his resignation. This meeting with Rita Brata gang is a matter of question that is being now raised.
Let me go across to Pooja as well, who's been reporting on this. Pooja, Firat Hakim, very much a strong man. As far as the Trinamool Congress is concerned, a long-time ally, associate of Mamata Banerjee and also Abhishek Banerjee. What is he doing speaking to Rita Brata among others?
Oh, well, absolutely. Cracks seem to widen within the Trinamool Congress, and for party chairperson Mamata Banerjee, this is a double whammy moment where the rebel MPs who are camping in Delhi are in a huddle, and they are all set to recognize themselves as a different camp. And a short while ago, we've seen how a Mamata loyalist, Trinamool Congress MLA Firat Hakim, has reached the West Bengal Legislative Assembly. We spoke to him as to why has he arrived here, because he's known to be belonging to Mamata's camp, and he is also recognized as a chief whip. He said he's come here to meet people, and he's maintained silence as far as his meeting with the rebel camp is concerned. But clearly we saw two people who were instrumental in the rebel camp, Rita Brata Banerjee and Sandipan Saha. We saw Sandipan Saha take him to the leader of opposition, who is Rita Brata Banerjee's room. So clearly the cracks within the Trinamool Congress is further widening, and trouble seems to be brewing furthermore for the Trinamool Congress.
All right, we'll wait and see as to how things unfold. Dev, Ridita, Sabyasachi and Pooja, stay with us, because we'll continue our coverage of everything that's been happening within the Trinamool Congress on the other side of this very short break. Stay tuned.